Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. Got a super interesting story for you today. I was on Facebook, on my Facebook, and I saw this story come over my news feed from the Midland County Sheriff's Office. You can go to their, find their Facebook page, and you'll see it. It's a picture of the late Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor. It says, we often say gone but never forgotten, but today's proof that the cliche is more than just words. Today is the anniversary of Sergeant Michael Joe Naylor's EOW, into work, I guess. You'll notice little reminders of Sergeant Naylor around the Midland County Sheriff's Office, including a single star on the cruiser. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. John 15:13. It's real nice that they quoted scripture, you know. Too bad they couldn't tell the truth and be honest with the public. That's also scripture. But here's some pictures they posted. Well, I had to share it with the story, but I posted under this. I wanted the people the people reading this, the people at the sheriff's department to read this. I want this out in the public. This is what's hidden from the public by the press and the police. This is what I posted under the Midland County page. I said, "Rest in peace, Deputy Naylor. These are the facts that have been hidden from the public, which may be connected to the death of Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor. On January 28, 2012, I was ambushed and shot by somebody under my home with burglar alarms going off in my attic. My phone lines cut. God saved my life, and it's a miracle that I survived. Now, homeowners all over Midland, Odessa, and the country have reported people in the attic, and proof was found showing that I wasn't shot with my gun, as had been falsely stated. I've documented more than a dozen other homeowners reporting people in the attic just in Midland. Minutes after I survived this murder attempt and was seen crawling out, Martin County Sheriff John Woodward and the late Midland County Deputy Mike Naylor was seen arriving on security cameras. They were seen driving up with their spotlights on, but they were not dispatched, and their names had been omitted from the long-withheld police report. The police report for this night was subpoenaed in December 2013, but MPD illegally withheld it in violation of the court order, so I didn't know that one existed. The night of the murder attempt, the police had attempted to disable my security camera in my bedroom, but accidentally started it and were seen staging the crime scene. But since I had no police report, I didn't know who they were. I nicknamed them the Secret Police. I saved up disability money and offered a $2,000 reward for their identity. Empire Private Investigations identified all 11 of them 6 years later in 2018. It was amazing because the first law enforcement officer seen in my home was Martin County Sheriff John Woodward, and this is Midland County. He was followed by the Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor, who had died in 2014 with a reward offered for his identity as a secret police. Inside my home was Chad Simpson, who was the Midland Canine police officer that murdered his wife and then killed himself 2 months after Naylor died. That left 2 secret police and a policeman's wife dead, who were connected to the murder attempt on my life. In fact, the local businessman, Aaron Packelhofer, he owns a eccentric brewery. Aaron Packelhofer asked me if I knew the names of the 4 people who had been murdered, died at my house. In 2019, I noticed a police report that I didn't have, so I sent in an information request and I asked for it. And to my great surprise, I got the long-withheld police report. 6 of the law enforcement officers that were caught on camera had their names missing from the report. That was John Woodward, Mike Naylor, Chad Simpson, Greg Nelson, Mark Gilliam, and Michael Glick. It's a felony to falsify a police report. That's 6 felonies right there. More importantly, it timestamped 5 police officers, Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale, as being at or inside my home when they were not seen arriving on the security cameras, which it saw Woodward and Naylor minutes earlier. And to be more specific, Lieutenant Dickey was in my house at 11:05, and he wasn't seen arriving on the cameras that saw Woodward and Naylor at 11:01. Okay, that's the point I'm making. Davis was here at 11:03. It makes sense that officers Woodward, Naylor, Rodriguez, Chandler, Simpson, and others had also been under my home, but they're not documented on the police report as being at my home without being seen on cameras. Okay, so we can suspect them other officers were also there too. With all of my windows and doors secured with extra locks, which is documented on the police reports, this proved these police came into my home from the underground entrance that the ex-wife had already told me was here. I suspect they were in the underground home in the backyard, which was said to be here by multiple people, including sheriff's candidate Joe Lozano. Another lady was recorded as saying that pedophile parties were going on down there. Maybe that's what was happening that night. The ex-wife told me in so many words that a lot of people were here that night, which would mean some kind of party was going on in the underground home. It's now known that I had trapped a burglar in my bathroom prior to the murder attempt on that day, and I was on the other side of the door with a gun and every right to protect my life and property. I had been reporting burglaries to my home a year prior to this, and I was told the last owner of this home, Mike Lawhon, was telling his friends that somebody was breaking into this home before he died at 27 years old. That happened the week before the 2008 oil show started. It's still unknown who the shooter, aka would-be killer, was, but we can be absolutely sure those 5 police were under my home that night and that they know. Many people told me that Naylor was a good guy, which made me wonder if he was planning on snitching on the other secret police. Remember, they were all keeping themselves secret, hiding the police report inside my house, staging the crime scene. This is a capital murder attempt. You know, this is a big deal. And somebody didn't want that to happen. Evidence supporting this incredible and true story was emailed to Sheriff Kreiner. I have it, about 60, 70 emails, between me and Kreiner. And then personally given, I went up to the Sheriff's Department and not too long ago talked to the sheriff, I think Chief Deputy Lieutenant Gray, and as far as I can tell, he did nothing at all. I put this little short video, which is pretty much a little minute video or whatever. It didn't take long. And remember, this is posted on the Midland County Sheriff's Office, so all the sheriff deputies can see it. So all of them can see it. There, me crawling out. You saw the lights go off in the headlights on my car when I was crawling out. 19 minutes later, here with the spotlights on, here comes John Woodward from Martin County. This is Midland County. Oh, and he's followed by Mike Naylor. Neither one of them are dispatched. Both of them's name is missing from the report, from the police report that was illegally withheld for 7 years. Nobody was ever supposed to know that they were here. Well, I think that's a factor in that Mike Naylor died, and I had a reward offered for his identity, and then he was identified by the private investigator. Now, if it wasn't him, then the private investigator, needs to have his license pulled, needs to be arrested, for false information. But I don't believe that. I believe the private investigator was telling the truth. I believe the police is the one that's been falsifying the reports. Okay. And so, anyways, I copied and pasted that this story, and then I posted it over on my Facebook page to share to everybody. It's the same thing, same story. And then I went on a little bit further, and I was like, some people might just ask, what underground homes, right? That's a fair question. And I tell them the ones multiple people are documented saying are here. It wouldn't be hard to find them. Law enforcement just needs to ask the people that I've now documented as saying they're here. They could ask Rhonda Denman Rogers, who I documented saying the underground facility is a half block away. They could ask the woman they recorded on the phone who told me there were 4 3-bedroom, $1 million underground homes that were buried at least 25 foot deep. She said they were having pedophile parties down there. Or so they asked about that too. That's a phone call on YouTube. They could ask previous resident Ricky Ronaldo, who told me him and his brother used to go in the tunnels under his home when they lived in this house. They could ask CAD programmer Layla O'Brien, who told me she worked on this underground safe project that was completed in 1987 at a cost of $7.35 million on permit, she said. She said the bushes were connected with installing them. Interesting, all the permits were accidentally deleted in 2014, 2015. I wonder how accidental that was, or if they were just accidentally trying to cover up capital murders. They could ask recent sheriff candidate Joe Lozano, who I recorded telling me that these underground homes was a hideout for late Sheriff Gary Painter. This guy's running for Midland Sheriff. I recorded him. They could ask MPD officers Davis, Diggy, Chadwell, Angel, and Hale, who were time-stamped as being adder inside my home and not seen arriving on the security cameras that saw Woodward and Naylor minutes earlier. This told me they came into my home from the now-removed underground entrance from where I'd been ambushed and shot, or from where the ex-wife told me was here. They could also ask my ex-wife, who told me there was a hidden trap door in my home before I was ambushed and shot. They could ask Angie McGee Hurley, who told me that a young girl was murdered at a party she was at during the 2010 Permian Basin International Oil Show, which was 5 minutes from my home and believed to be going on down there in the underground homes. They could ask Google Maps. She was afraid to report that and said high-level police were at that party. They could ask Google Maps why they're showing a large bunker in my backyard on the map screen, which can't be seen from above ground on the sat screen. I'm going to show you that in a minute. And then they could ask Homeland Security Agent Paul. I showed him where I believe the tunnel was at, a human trafficking murder tunnel, and 2 weeks later the ground was dug up and concrete was poured. I reported him to U.S. Inspector General, and nothing happened. It's just lawlessness. They could ask Lance Eggleston, who told me, we have access to your residence at all times. Nobody will ever believe your story. You will be silenced, not if, but when. And I said, when are you going to murder me, Lance? Because that's what's going on. They're just murdering innocent homeowners, right? Using these police under the homes. Or they could ask Shannon Jeter, who told me, buddy, cops can kill you and get away with it. Stop publicizing their business and you go buy you another home. In fact, there are many people who have asked to order me to sell my home who must know something. You know, they want me out of my home so bad because there's an underground home in the backyard where they murdered a little girl. Okay, since it's believed these underground homes were hosting the famous and wild oil show parties, and it makes sense that a lot of people would know about them, there should be many witnesses to talk to before anybody has to pick up a shovel and dig. And I put a video here, that proof video with all them recordings, proof of underground homes and tunnels, the print screens and all that. And then a little short one to finish this out. And I said, this is Google Map, which shows the location of the underground home in my backyard. I told the city of Midland about this, and it was deleted from Google Maps earlier this year. Once again, the question is asked, was that to cover up capital murders? My guess is that Woodward and Naylor were down there when I got shot, and they drove around to the front of my home and were looking for me with spotlights. That makes sense, doesn't it? Okay. I'm going to show you. Here's old Google Maps from about 2011, right 6 months before I shot. This is my home. This is what the previous homeowner, like I said, he died, right before I moved in here. Okay, I'm shot right here by somebody under my home. Okay, and it looks like there's underground home in the backyard. I have multiple people here documented saying underground homes are here. On old Google Maps, you used to could just put my address in and you would see this large building in the backyard right here, but that's gone, thanks, because after I notified the city of Midland, I guess they had it deleted. You couldn't see it from above ground. That's where one of the underground homes is believed to be. That's where it's believed the oil show party's at. That's where it's believed these police were at, okay? And this ditch was, you see where it's cut behind Home Depot, coming here directly towards my house, right? That's where I believe that the people at the parties, those police officers that got in my home without being seen on camera, I think that's what they used, was this tunnel. I showed Homeland that in 2019. 2 weeks later, they dug up the ground and poured concrete there. This is lawlessness. But now the question here, and I'm going to show you, they're going to find this, because it's about Mike Naylor. And here what I wrote is, I posted this story on Midland County Sheriff Office Facebook page. Will they ignore it or will they investigate it? It should have been done a long time ago. What do y'all think? I'm asking you, what do you think? Reply. Do they care more about keeping secret the underground homes, crimes, and murders than they do the death of one of their own guys? I mean, how much do they really care about Mike Naylor? To post a scripture up there. This is Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.